I think it's, again, last time I talked about this, your head, your heart, and your hands, and I think I think we have to have a commitment to innovate and to be imaginative, and we have all sorts of challenges and problems coming our way constantly. So let's try to look at those challenges and problems creatively.
Yep.
Creatively, and imagine how could we overcome in this season and get better in this season. I think imagination and creativity are two of our most precious powers.
Yeah.
Someone said the best way to predict the future is to invent it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just being stuck in the present, I think let's decide, even if we're facing a real problem, let's decide we're going to create an exciting new reality. Mm-hmm. So a couple of ingredients that we need to imagine or to innovate. Let me try to get everybody out of that idea of lack of imagination and lack of innovation. Is first of all, this willingness. I think willingness is key. It's I think sometimes you said it, we get stuck or we kind of just feel like, okay, we know how to do this, so let's just do it. And we're not willing to go back to the drawing board again and look again at this.
Yep.
Remember that series we were going to do?
Called Back to the Drawing Board. Wasn't that what it was called?
Yeah, Back to the Drawing Board.
About creativity and imagination.
Creativity. We need to do that.
We need to bring that
We
back.
need to do that series. I think, and we were going to we had some cool ideas for it. I remember, like, we were going to do a big drawing, something in the lobbies where people could draw or whatever. But I think we don't like to go back to the drawing board sometimes because we're safe. We feel safe with what we've already created.
Yeah.
And what's that saying? If it's not broken,
don't fix it.
Is that right?
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if that's true. I think sometimes you have to maybe break something.
Sometimes you do,
so that you can refresh it. And so willingness. The next thing I think
we're doing that right now with our process of assimilating people. We've been looking at it, breaking it down, having meetings.
Talking about small groups?
And even discovery.
Discovery and small groups, you're right.
Right? We're just looking at it and breaking it down and saying it works. It's not that it's bad. It's like, how can we make it better?
How can we make it better? Thomas Edison said there is a way to do it better. Find it. I think that's a pretty good.
Sounds like a very succinct kind of thing.
I think that's a very good commitment. Willingness, risk is the second ingredient. If you're going to have imagination and innovation, you got to take the risk, because all great ideas are controversial, or they have been at one time or another. Mm-hmm. And of course, imagination is one, curiosity is another, experimentation. This is one I want to talk about just for a moment, because I think people think. So here's something that would be good to talk about. I think sometimes people think if you're experimenting, there could be the risk that it won't be excellent. Mm-hmm. Let's use, for example, someone who gets up and who does the offering for the first time in church. It's like, but they've never done it on a Sunday morning. Okay, well, let's make sure they do it in other environments for a while before we put them on Sunday morning. But we do need to take chances with people and with processes. I think that's a part of that imagination and that part of commitment to innovate. Otherwise, we just depend on the same people to do the same thing every Sunday, every month. It just gets really, really routine. Tom Peters said, excellent organizations and teams are experimenters supreme. So I think we got to tinker and experiment and be willing to take risks. And let's keep trying to innovate. Let's keep trying to imagine. What's the best way to get people on teams?
Yep.
What's the best way to get people into small groups if we're leading churches? What's the best way? Let's get around the table. Let's think again. Is there another way? Is there a better way? Anyway.
Yeah.